Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Well, what is it you're hoping to see tomorrow? What will give you a little bit of positivity about Arkansas football? Outside of a win, of course, and I think there's a lot of people that would say nothing outside of a win will satisfy you. Maybe keeping it close, maybe not letting the rope go. I'll tell you what, though, it's going to be a rough couple of weeks in the middle of already what is a rough football season, a season in which you've been close but no cigar for the last 3 times out, and now you're facing a very physical team tomorrow, and then potentially the best team in the country with an offense that doesn't stop the next week. So it's probably not going to be very pretty. But what will give you a good feeling about Arkansas football tomorrow? And I guess a lot of people are going to say a win. Phil Elson here, Ty Richardson in the ESPN Arkansas studios. Appreciate you tuning in today. Let us know. I mean, what will give you positive thoughts? 877-377-6963, Cherokee Casino hotline, good for a call or a text.
Lisa coming in hot already on her Facebook live stream, Phil.
Already? What does she say?
Hearing Morris gets fired.
Well, I mean, that's taking it to the extreme. And I'll tell you what, unless it's about a 100-0 loss tomorrow, that's not going to happen. And nothing will happen until the end of the football season. But I have a feeling, though, Ty, that Lisa is not the lone person who is feeling that way right now. What will give you a better feeling about this team after tomorrow's game? You know, I mean, and we're in a position now, Ty, where you kind of have to search for the little nuggets of good things, and it sometimes makes you seem like you're just trying to be sunshine and birds chirping, you know, while there's an earthquake that's knocking your city down. But I mean, it's funny because I brought this up yesterday. What did Gus Malzahn say about Chad Morris?
His team plays hard.
His team is playing hard, right? And honestly, you want to go out and at least see some real effort for 4 quarters because you're so close the last few times out. Maybe the guys are thinking that they've got an opportunity to knock a team off, and that's because you've been so close. But the recent history with Auburn, the fact that that this team right now just does not know how to win football games. I got a bad feeling about tomorrow. That Arkansas will be pushed around, that they're not going to be able to move the ball with any regularity. We don't even know who's going to start at quarterback for the Hogs tomorrow, and I guess that's a topic to really get into. Looking at last week, the question was who's going to start for Kentucky, and Mark Stoops played it very close to the vest. Although it seemed pretty obvious that he would start the wide receiver Bowden. For Arkansas, right now, I mean, it's not because of injuries. That's why Sawyer Smith didn't start last week for the Wildcats. It's a matter of who can come out and give you, honestly, it's not a matter of just a good game. Who can give you a good first half? Because throughout this season, other than maybe Nick Starkel in the first half against Colorado State, the starters have been pretty poor, especially in quarters 1 and 2. So, I mean, yes, you want somebody to be able to go out there and play the entire 4 quarters and play it well, but if you just look at the history of this season, that hasn't happened, but maybe one time this year. So who can go out there and get the offense moving for the first couple of quarters and then potentially stay in for the rest of the game. It's funny. It's almost like you feel like Arkansas football is like a baseball team with a starting pitcher and a guy warming up in the bullpen that's always going to come in the second half.
And by the way, if you want to go to the game and you don't have tickets, John Neighbors is giving away tickets at Randall Ford right now, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You could stop by there and get your chance to win tickets. But, yeah, you're exactly right. The QB situation is so important tomorrow, Phil, and I think that Bo Nix is not the guy that you necessarily have to be the most worried about, but if they get the run game going, the game's over because he won't have to do much. If you can put him into somewhat difficult situations, and I know that he's not going to get the same type of pressure that he did down in Gainesville, down at the Swamp, but this is still a true freshman quarterback playing in his first season in the SEC. You have to stack the line of scrimmage, read your keys right, make sure that you're not overplaying anything because you know how Auburn likes to run trickery and stuff. You have to make him uncomfortable. You weren't able to make Lynn Bowden uncomfortable at home, even though he had no arm whatsoever to be playing at the collegiate level. You got to find a way to make Bo Nix uncomfortable like Florida did a couple weeks ago.
Dustin in Mansfield texts in, says, if Arkansas gets a pick 6 tomorrow, I'll walk away with decent thoughts. Matt from Ozark texts that he just needs to see competent play calling and fight from the players, and then goes on to say, I just don't want to see this inevitable baby seal clubbing that is likely, and which is kind of what I'm expecting to see, too. I wonder what Lisa thinks. Lisa's in northeastern Arkansas. She's on the Cherokee Casino hotline right now. Hi, Lisa. You're on the air.
Okay, and let me say, first of all, Phil, I love to listen to you on Razorback Baseball. You do an excellent job.
Thank you very much. I love doing those games.
Well, you do an excellent job. I think I'm speaking for the entire state of Arkansas fan base, and if I'm not, I'm sorry. But I'm just going to tell it like it is, and I think Ty will agree that I tell it like it is. I've been doing this thing for over 55 years. I've never seen anything so pitiful in my life. And if he does not win an SEC game this year under the guidelines he was hired through the board, this people's girl that's now at another university, that I'm packing up and I'm going to the old folks home and saying, forget about it. Everybody in this state, if I can use this word, is pissed off. And not just no little bit either. We're mad. Those of us that give money, buy gas, stay in the motels, feed the pig, you name it. We're mad. Because it doesn't even look like this. And I like the guy. I've met him at all the banquets. He's a nice guy, but nice guys in the SEC finish where? They finish last in most cases. The next coach we get, I don't care if he's nice, I don't care who he sleeps with, or if he doesn't sleep with nobody at all. I want a proven winner. And I'm pretty plain spoken, I realize that, and I'm sorry to come on here, but this dilly-dallying around and holding on, well, give him 3 years. Give him 3 years for what? I'm not renewing my tickets, and my tickets have been going on for 50-something years. So what
Lisa,
does that tell you? I went into listen, and I'll get off here. I get on here and gab. Ty knows that. I was in a board member's office this week in Northeast Arkansas. Okay, yeah, that narrows it down. He said, Lisa, who do we get? I said, I'll take the job for $1 million a year. They'll play because I'll put them on the sidelines if they don't. I'm teed off about it. I don't like losing. And don't give me this thing, well, we're Arkansas. Yes, we are Arkansas. Yes, we are. And we've got the money to go out and get a top-ranked good coach. And if they don't do it, people are going to mount horseback and ride up there and run through the ticket office and the foundation like they do in these old westerns. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for taking my call, and I love y'all's show. Have a great, blessed day.
And you as well, Miss Lisa. And don't you worry about coming on the air and saying the words PO'd, because I have a feeling that you did just speak for a lot of people that listen to this show. Don't you think so, Ty? There was nothing for her to be upset about the word choice. Everything that she actually did say sounded like there was a lot of truth to it. And hey, you're talking about someone that's been invested in it for 55 years, and it sounds like she's almost ready to jump off the wagon, and that's a sad state of affairs. Hey, it is beautiful outside today. We got to go to the break. It is 66 degrees where I live. It is perfect camping weather. You got to go to Breeden RV in Van Buren because they got the year-end clearance sale going on right now. So when you want to get outside and travel, they got a great deal on new RVs, travel trailers that start at $99.95 and fifth wheels that start under $30,000. Plus free maintenance for life for all new customers. Breeden RV has a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs. Go to BreedenRVs.com for more information. Get with us. Cherokee Casino Hotline 877-377-6963, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
I don't get that.
That tells me
you don't have the KI, man. You don't have the killer instinct.
Yeah, exactly. You are worried more about what the other team's going to do instead of what you should do.
Exactly.
And you can't do that. You can't be a football coach of a successful football team doing that.
That tells me you have no confidence at all.
That's not a winning formula.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Randall Ford here in Fort Smith at 5500 Rogers Avenue, the fourth oldest Ford dealership in America, where it's another beautiful Friday here, and they have some great deals going on at Randall Ford. Come on by and get you a brand new F-150, 0% financing for 72 months. I'm a big F-150 guy myself, and they are beautiful trucks. But if that's a little too big for you, you don't want to go something that large, they also have the same deal going on with their Ford Rangers. 2019 Ford Rangers, 0% for 72 months. It's a great deal. And here's the best thing about it, folks. Randall Ford has a pair of tickets to the Arkansas-Auburn game that they are giving away. All you got to do is come by Randall Ford, go out on a test drive, and you get yourself a free pair of tickets to Arkansas and Auburn tomorrow morning. So come on by Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, and see us on ESPN 95.3.
Joe's Grilling Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grilling Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Mentor's Lumber True Value has the lowest prices on the items you use every day. Today, 4 packs of GE LED light bulbs are just $9.99 each. Choose from 5-watt or 8-watt soft white or daylight dimmable bulbs. They are all rated for 15,000 hours of life. Head over to the electrical department for these bargains of the month now, while supplies last. Mentor's Lumber True Value with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville.
Light bulbs burn out, so it's dark.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your #1 Arkansas fan.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 631520.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
And Derby's got the first down. A.J. Derby then hits the speed. How about that? Did he stay in? Touchdown, Arkansas!
Back on Halftime here, Phil Elson, Ty Richardson. You, if you want to be a part of it, 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline, getting you set for a big weekend in Fayetteville with one regular season game. Football tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We'll have Arkansas game day at 6. IMG pregame at 8. And then we will be airing the Arkansas UALR exhibition basketball game that will also unveil Nolan Richardson Court. And we'll also unveil whatever's underneath that big white placard on midcourt at Bud Walton Arena. That's a 3 o'clock game Sunday. And, yes, it will air on all of our stations, also on hitthatline.com. So make it a part of your weekend. Let's go to the Cherokee Casino hotline, and our friend Robert from Fort Smith has dialed in. Hi, Robert. What's up?
Hey, guys. Real quick, I'm right there where that one lady was at. I mean, I've got season tickets. I've not been to one game, and because, I mean, they're terrible, but, you know, I've had them for almost 20 years. But my question is, if he doesn't win another game, would you – I know the money will say something, but would you resign because you're not going to be liked here in the state? I know no one's going to holler at him and call him names or nothing, but you go to town, you go somewhere, it's not like they're just going to come up to you, hey, great. I just don't, like I said, they're not going to call him out, but I don't know that I want to be somewhere that I know that I'm not liked, and I'm just see what y'all's thoughts are.
Robert, I mean, it's an interesting idea, to be honest, but I would think that most coaches, if not every coach, they would still feel like they've got the time and the opportunity and the contract and the money that goes along with it to do due diligence and turn it around until you're forced out, until you are told by the powers that be that you're no longer welcome there. So, and you know, I know it's something we'll get into later on, but the statement from Hunter Yurachek yesterday, you know, made it seem that I mean, that's the person that obviously has to be paying attention to those small things that we were wondering about. What will get you to walk away from the game with a positive feeling other than a win? And, you know, Hunter Yurachek in his statement talking about the idea that even in these last 3 games that the Hogs have had their chances to win in the fourth quarter. So it feels like, yes, he's been disappointed, but at the same time, it looks like Yurachek is looking for positives, too.
But that's just a political response from athletic director who's feeling the heat from his fan base, the season ticket holders, the lack of funding that could potentially be in his corner next year. I mean, you think about how ticked off fans are. They don't care about close losses. They care about winning football games. And this narrative, because you heard it so many times under Brett Bielema. You know what, Phil? Brett Bielema here prior to, and if they hadn't lost so many games under his tenure like they did, I don't think the fan base would be as mad. But because of you have all these close losses under Brett Bielema, you get to know coach. You're not exactly losing the exact same way, but you're losing in similar ways. You're losing close ball games. And so you can't hold to the idea, hey, they're close, they're getting there. You've had multiple fourth quarter chances. No, fans are sick of it. They were sick of it under Brett Bielema. That's why he got fired. And if Chad Morris doesn't turn it around, that's the fate that he could reach as well. And that's no one wants to sit here and talk about it, Coach King, but that's the what could happen potentially if they continue to lose these close football games. It doesn't matter if they're getting blown, or I say that, if they're just getting waxed every single game, then I think that has more of a deterring effect for fans. But it's just as painful to lose a game by 60 than it is by 3 in the fourth quarter, if not more.
Oh, I think it hurts more to lose close games than getting blown out. In which, you by halftime sometimes, if you realize that it's just not going to happen that day, by the end of the game you're resigned to it, and not that you're over it or the embarrassment, but the pain of losing games that you feel that you were that close to winning, I think doesn't go away. And you know what I say about close losses, Ty? There is no such thing as a good loss. Bad teams lose close games routinely, and that is exactly what this Arkansas team has done this year and in Chad Morris's first season. So, and I agree with you. I mean, I think that Yurachek is feeling the heat. I think that a fan base wants to hear from an athletic director, and they, what is he going to go out and say? This is unacceptable. He's not going to repeat the same things that Chad Morris is saying, unacceptable this and unacceptable that. It's a tough sales job. It really is. Isn't it? It's an extremely tough sales job. And you can't be an athletic director that hides your head in the sand. You can't be the ostrich. I don't think Hunter Yurachek has been like that. He's not like, he's not quite like Jeff Long, just living life on social media. But I do see that he's somebody that wants to communicate with the fan base in multiple ways, whether it's been in person, at Razorback Club meetings, at games, on the website, on social media. And at some point, when you have your finger on the pulse of your fan base, you got to get out there and at least say something. And that's, to me, what it sounded like. It was I got to go out there and say something and maybe try to put a positive spin on this, but at the same time know that, yes, you're expecting us to win games, and right now it's not happening.
The negatives far outweigh the positives, Phil. There's no question about that. Aaron in Clarksville texted on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, do you think Morris and Gus have a safe word figured out yet for tomorrow's game? Because it's going to get rough. It's pretty good text, Aaron. Again, I think that if Brett Bielema was on the Arkansas sideline, Gus would have no problem running up the score. But since him and Chad Morris seem to have a good relationship, and I'm not going to say that it's going to be a blowout tomorrow. We'll get to our picks at the end of hour number 2, and I think it's going to be a blowout in favor of Auburn. But I think if there's potential to hang 60 or 70 on Arkansas, 50-something, I don't know if Gus will have his foot on the pedal in the fourth quarter, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning. Or I say tomorrow morning, it's more like tomorrow afternoon.
Robbie texted in from San Diego. We always got to know where Robbie is because he gathers no moss. He is the rollingest stone of any listener that we've had here on Halftime in the last year. He says, bottom line, if Arkansas continues to lose SEC games, nothing will save Chad Morris's job. He's 18-36 as a head coach. Robbie's breaking out the stats and the ones that matter too. And it sounds Robbie's off the Chad Morris train with an 18-36 record. That is twice as many losses as wins, man, and that is it's a rough life to lead with right now. And boy, I mean, Auburn and Alabama in back-to-back weeks. That would be a rough couple of weeks for almost any football team, just in the preparation that it takes and the fact that you're going into Tuscaloosa. But for a team that hasn't won an SEC game now, what is the losing streak up to? Is it up to 14 games? It just it does not look to be very pretty. And I'm with you, Ty. I won't release what I think the score will be. And I was really close of the Kentucky game last week of what my score pick was. I think it's going to be pretty ugly, and I don't really see much that could be positive from tomorrow. But hey, once they kick it off and get it going, maybe something changes, and maybe they end up playing themselves a fairly good game. James is dialed in. James in Van Buren on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Hello, James. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. So, me and some of my buddies, we've been watching ball together for about 20 years, so we have a pretty narrow view because we're younger. But, the piece that I see missing is when we had Houston Nutt, that was really kind of one of the first coaches I remember, and then into the Bobby Petrino era. you know, they seem to have passion. Now, Bobby could seem like more of a horse's behind him than actually have passion, but I haven't seen Chad Morris or this coaching staff flat out hit up somebody's hind end on the sideline, whether it be Chad at a coach or one of the coaches at a player. When they're making these stupid bonehead mistakes, I want to see them be corrected on it. I understand that's not everybody's approach, but it doesn't seem like anybody has any passion up there like they used to. And if I could see that, I would start to feel, you know, maybe Chad's finally hit his breaking point where he's going to make a turn because, you know, Arkansas could have been winning when Bobby Petrino was here. And if Tyler Wilson and Ryan Allen made a bonehead mistake, Bobby was up them like a colonoscopy doctor. I mean, you know, and I just feel that's what's missing.
Well, and thanks for the call, James. I think a lot's missing, a lot, and passion might be part of it, you know. And this is not a team that has been able to come out and play a full 4 quarters very well. Maybe the Texas A&M game, and that was still a loss. Maybe there's an issue with motivation as well, you know. I don't know. Is Chad Morris is trying to sell this program to fans, to recruits? Maybe it's been difficult through the week, you know, of getting these players mentally prepared to play football against anybody, not just against SEC teams.
Phil, this will be the separation point. I know we're coming up on a break, but this team is either going to hold together, hold strong, and I think lose or get their blocks knocked off, and you're going to see a lot of dissension in the locker room after the game. And from this point forward, it's only one of two ways, and neither, I think, is a W.
That's right. I mean, if you're playing a game of tug of war, pretty soon the rope gets let go. Hey, if you own a business that needs more security or just needs more curb appeal, a new fence from the Fenceman can give you both. A Fenceman specializing in custom installations, been doing it for over 40 years. Gates, controlled access card readers. Call the Fenceman for a quick, no-obligations quote. That's 479-782-3936. Ask for Henry at the Fenceman. Again, 479-782-3936. Fenceman is a division of Quantum Property Services. We'll continue with your calls and texts, 877-377-6963, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Randall Ford here in Fort Smith at 5500 Rogers Avenue, where they are having amazing deals on this beautiful day here in the River Valley. They have F-150s galore. I also have Ford Rangers galore. They have Mustangs. They got all your vehicles, but their most special that they're having today is, of course, the F-150s and the Ford Rangers, 0% financing for 72 months. You're not going to get a better deal on any Ford vehicle in the area, and they got plenty to choose from. And here's what's the great thing too, folks. If you want to go to the Arkansas-Auburn game tomorrow morning, they are giving away a pair of tickets just for you. All you have to do is come by Randall Ford and say that you want to test drive a new Ford vehicle. And once you test drive the vehicle, they will give you a pair of tickets to tomorrow's game, so you're not going to get a better deal. Again, come on out and see us over here at Randall Ford in Fort Smith, 5500 Rogers Avenue, fourth oldest Ford dealership in America.
Do you hear that Coors Light being poured? It's the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your number one Arkansas fan.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Right now at Randall Ford, get 0% for 72 months on a new 2019 Ford F-150 LXT, plus $1,000 special retail bonus cash. But that's not all. How about up to $13,000 off MSRP? Or how about only $299 a month? That's it. Just $299 a month for a brand new 2019 Ford EcoSport, only from Randall Ford, America's 4th oldest Ford dealer. Stop in today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
Time to talk to our buddy Aaron Torres, host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, also on Fox Sports Radio, Kentucky Sports Radio, sports writer extraordinaire. AT, how's your week been?
My week's been great, Phil and Ty. How has your guys' week been?
Been good. Went to visit the kids up in Canada, where they live now.
Oh, wow.
And I was off for the first 3 days of the week, so it's been a short week for me. So that makes it really good. I got to tell you. Yeah, Edmonton, really cold, very cold. All right, we got Arkansas, Auburn tomorrow, and we had a caller earlier today, Miss Lisa, who has been a season ticket holder for 55 years. And it sounds like she's ready to jump ship. I asked fans, what would give you a positive feeling about Arkansas football tomorrow without a win? And, most people have said if Chad Morris is fired, that's the way they would feel. We got an angry fan base here. From an outsider's perspective, do you agree with the idea that a coach has to get 3 seasons to turn things around? Because that's what we consistently hear, is for a program to get turned around in football, that a coach will need 3 seasons. But you see other examples of coaches turning programs around earlier than that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Just to that question specifically, I'd say in general, yes. I think there's a very interesting case study on both sides of the argument. That you can tell in 2 years, good or bad, if a guy is the right guy in the SEC right now, and ironically, neither of them is Chad Morris. I would say on the positive side, Dan Mullen did not inherit nearly as much as I think people think at Florida, and it is very clear that guy's just a really good football coach and that he has that program trending in the right direction. Ironically, if you want to take it away from Arkansas, I think the program that he left, Mississippi State, it's very clear that Joe Moorhead is not the answer there. And I don't think it's going to happen because he won enough games last year. He went 8-5. But I think it's very clear that Joe Moorhead just isn't the answer. Now, maybe the answer is actually Dan Mullen was way better than we realized when he was at Mississippi State, and he did things with that program, getting them at one point to number 1 in the country that probably aren't replicable. But you look at Mississippi State, top 15 team coming into the season last year. They ended up with 3 first-round draft picks last year, which I think a lot of people don't realize. So it's clear that they had talent. But the fact that the offense struggled, Joe Moorhead was seen as an offensive guy, the fact that this year they're coming off a loss to Tennessee, the offense continues to just be a disaster. I actually think if there's an argument to be made that a coach doesn't need 3 years to figure it out, it's not Chad Morris. I actually think it's Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State, because that guy just, he took a really, really good program, and I don't want to say he's running into the ground, but somewhere pretty close to it right now, Phil.
Well, and a loss, to Tennessee is a prime example of exactly what you're talking about. And I mean, all the other programs right now that had the first-year coach last year, second-year coach this season of the SEC, there have been improvements in some areas, with maybe the exception of Mississippi State and potentially Arkansas. And that's, I think that's why right now, I mean, Arkansas is going into these next 2 weeks, Auburn and Alabama, and I know Ty's a little worried about this, and I think the same thing could happen, where potentially this is the time of the year where a bad team that is losing close games consistently can sort of let go of the rope a little bit, and I think there are fans in this state that are nervous that could happen too.
Well, and I think the big thing is, and it's funny because I go on in a few different SEC cities, and I actually had this conversation last week in Knoxville, and this is where I think an Arkansas fan, it's okay to be frustrated. Well, I mean, it's obviously, look, everyone's frustrated, but I understand as an outsider why people are frustrated. Is you don't have to win every game. You don't have to win a lot of your games, but what you have to see is signs of consistent progress. And so this was my argument with Tennessee is that, they have a really bad game against Georgia State, then they look good against BYU, can't close out the game, and you think, okay, we're finally moving in the right direction. And then they get steamrolled by Florida. And now we'll see if Tennessee can keep it consistent with Mississippi State. I think that's the biggest legitimate argument that an Arkansas fan has right now. Yes, we haven't won a single SEC game since Chad Morris got there, but there aren't really signs of improvement. And then when we finally think we have something going in the positive right direction with the Texas A&M game, you come out of a bye week and you lose to a third-string quarterback, basically a wide receiver, a quarterback turned wide receiver turned quarterback again at Kentucky. So that is where I think an Arkansas fan has every right to be frustrated. It's not about wins and losses. It's about how you look. It's about taking any sign of positive momentum, and Arkansas just doesn't really have any of those at this particular moment.
Talking college football with Aaron Torres on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Aaron, we've stayed inside the realm of the SEC with these first two questions. Let's step outside. Big Pac-12 game this weekend. You got Washington and you got Oregon. And regardless of who wins that football game, Aaron, do you think the Pac-12 is going to miss out on the college football playoff once again this season?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think that there's a potential really, really interesting conversation brewing. And that's this. So let's just say Bama runs the table. Let's say Oklahoma and Ohio State run the table. That's three playoff spots right there. Let me ask you this, Ty, because I was thinking about this today. We can even include LSU if you want, but let's take out LSU, let's take out Georgia. Let's assume there's no one-loss SEC team. One-loss Clemson versus one-loss Oregon in the Pac-12. Oregon loses week one to Auburn, last-second play. Then they run the table. There's no doubt that wins against Washington, Utah, who they would have to beat in the Pac-12 championship game, Washington State, whoever it ends up being. Or let's say Clemson loses at some point. Now, listen, Clemson has the name brand recognition, but Oregon would have the better resume. They would have the better loss. I just think that's a fascinating topic that could come up. And then if you want to throw LSU in the mix as a one-loss SEC team, I think you can make another compelling case that LSU should be in over two conference champions, potentially Clemson and Oregon. I just think the whole, you've told me this many times, Ty, that Tim Brando is a idol of yours, and Tim Brando always uses the term "the fly in the ointment." I think the fly in the college football playoff ointment this year is what happens if Clemson loses a game, because I think that opens up the whole can of worms about potentially, listen, how about this? Potentially two Big Ten teams getting in over Clemson, potentially two SEC teams getting in over Clemson, and then, of course, the possible one-loss Pac-12 champ. I think that, to me, is the most interesting conversation that nobody's really having right now if Clemson does indeed suffer a loss somewhere along the way.
And I think it's a great question to be asking yourself, because as much as I love Trevor Lawrence and Dabo Swinney, you look at their schedule, man, it's garbage. It's straight garbage. So it's a good question to ask.
Really quick, and I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but I can tell you this. There will be, if we have how about this? forget Oregon, forget LSU, forget Georgia if they finish with one loss. Well, if Georgia finishes with one loss, they'd be the SEC champs, so take out Georgia. There will be AAC teams, American Athletic Conference teams, with one loss. If somebody finishes with one loss in that conference, they will have a better resume than Clemson. Just think about that for a second. Point being, ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, is abysmal this year, and I think it's going to be Clemson better run the table, because if they don't, I think it's going to be really hard to make a case for them as a one-loss conference champ to make the playoff. I just think it will be.
SMU. AT, you opened my eyes to that, man. You really did. That's a good call. Hey, we're up against the break. I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much, and have a good weekend.
Guys, you got to find me a new time slot. I'm just getting warmed up.
I know it. We got to get you a sponsor to come in for the Arkansas-Kentucky game. We got a bunch of stuff to do for you. That's Aaron Torres joining us here on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Well, the weekend is upon us, Ty. And I know you got yourself a nice cold case of Coors Light ready to go.
Exactly right. Tommy was gracious enough to allow me to do the pregame tomorrow. So I will be working mid-game, but after the game, I will be divulging into some ice-cold Coors Light. And it's the most refreshing beer. It's the beer of Saturday morning, as Kurt Herbstreit has done. I mean, it's just the beer that you want to be drinking this weekend. And you're probably going to need some, because this game could get a little rough. So go pick you up a 30-rack or go to your favorite bar and get some ice-cold Coors Light. Cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged, cold everything. Phil, you know what I always say, when the mountains turn blue, what do? You get yourself to. Exactly right, my man. Coors Light, made to chill.
One more break and another segment as we close up shop here in the first hour. You can get with us at 877-377-6963, and we'll be right back.
Don't spend life sitting on your hands. You're listening to Halftime.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your number one Arkansas fan.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Made in the USA Furniture.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Made in the USA Speed Queen Washer and Dryers.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
In-store, no credit check financing.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
0 down and 0 interest with approved credit.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Family owned and no high-pressure sales staff.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Find us on Facebook and Instagram. 405 Fort Street, Barling, Arkansas. Your Made in the USA headquarters.
Best seats in the house.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect. They're bringing state-of-the-art high-speed fiber internet plus TV and phone services right into the homes of all members. If you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The Ram Power Days event at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler, Oklahoma is underway. You can now get 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 combined bonus cash for up to $10,348 in estimated total value on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 models. Become one of the many proud and satisfied Ram owners with a great deal this month during Ram Power Days event at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler. Log on to buywilliams.com for more information.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Football Edition. This is how you say, game tonight. Bring Bud Light. Fantasy fees are due. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
McFadden, the number 2 rusher in the SEC behind Kenny Irons. Boy, he hits that hole. Upfield he goes. Watch out. McFadden at the 25, 15, 5, touchdown.
So who's the quarterback tomorrow for Arkansas, not Auburn? We had the question who's going to be the Auburn quarterback, about 2 months ago between Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix. And, Gatewood gets in every once in a while, more to run than anything else. For Arkansas, the question, man, it's the same question you had a year ago. It's the same conversation, Ty, but it's 2 different quarterbacks. It was supposed to be an upgrade. I still think that it possibly is.
No, it
but
is.
I'm just not quite as sure that it's as much of an upgrade as we thought it was.
It's not as apparent as it should be. It should be a much different type of situation. And this is on Chad Morris, Joe Craddock, Ben Hicks, Nick Starkel. And I think people, yes, they're frustrated with the fact that there's not a major difference between the position, but I think they might be equally as irritated by the fact that neither one of these guys has played well as the starter for the most part. Yes, you can point to Nick in the Colorado State game, but outside of that, is there a performance where, man, that starter, that he just really played out of his mind? These guys have come in off the bench and play better for the guy who ended up starting in the game. And I think fans just want, and I know some are on the Starkel train, some are on the Hicks train. They just want someone to supplant himself as the starting quarterback the rest of the way forward, take the position up in arms, and just go with it. But it hasn't been the case at this point.
Hey, we've even got some people that are on the John Stephen Jones train. Gary in Arkadelphia he wants to see JSJ start. Says that's moving the team in the right direction, and he's seen all of Starkel and Hicks that he needs to see.
I love Gary in Arkadelphia, but I'm telling you guys, you heard the exact same favorable comments about Dalton Hyatt last year. That's all.
And now Hyatt is an injured wide receiver.
Yeah, and that's all he's doing. He's giving a little pub to Daddy Warbucks, Jerry, and that's all it is.
Well, usually the most popular player on a bad team is the backup quarterback. Yeah. But in this case, maybe it's the 3rd string quarterback that's the most popular, or the 4th string, because you get as many people that say they want to see KJ Jefferson now, figuring that he's the future of the program, and maybe he is, but there's no way that he's ready to go out there and try to go up against defenses like Auburn and Alabama for the next 2 weeks.
This is not the time to do it. It's probably the best defensive line, if not one of the best defensive lines in college football. And Alabama on the road, Nick Saban against a 1st or 2nd time starter. That's just a no-no. And let's be honest here, Phil. Do you really think that Chad Morris and Joe Craddock are trying to hinder the quarterback position? Do you honestly think that those 2 guys are trying to pick out the less talented or the less ready guy? Now, I know it hasn't been perfect so far when they've been choosing the quarterbacks, but if they thought if they thought KJ Jefferson was ready, or if they thought John Stephen Jones was better than the 2 other quarterbacks, then they would play. That's just, they know how important their job is on the line. And I know you're putting it in the hands of what be a sophomore and a freshman, but if they truly thought that either one of those was either ready or capable enough to be better than Nick Starkel and Ben Hicks, then they would be on the field. I know sometimes sports radio can be difficult and sometimes hard to grasp, but I feel like that's a simple concept to understand, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. But also the way that Starkel and Hicks have had trouble just going out and playing full 4 quarters, looking like they're real SEC quarterbacks. Right now, quarterback was supposed to be wasn't supposed to be the question mark that it is now. It wasn't supposed to be game number 7, and you have no idea not only who's going to be the starter, but if that starter is even going to finish the game. That's what it feels like. It's a baseball team with a pitching staff, and almost like they need to bullpen, like the Tampa Bay Rays would do sometimes.
Patch a game together.
Right, patch the game together. Why not? Because they don't know who they want to start either. Here's Chad Morris on naming a starter at quarterback, and quite honestly, I mean, you got the or on the depth chart, and the or means they have no idea who they're starting right now.
Probably not going to, not to the end. I don't know that yet, but they've both had a really good day yesterday. A lot of competition. My challenge to them is consistency. That's what we've got to have, and I think Ben's done a great job. Coming in as a reliever, and I've shared that with him. And Nick came in as a reliever and did a good job too. So. I'm not having a problem if I put one on the field and I have to bring somebody off the bench to be a reliever, and so to speak, to get us going. I think these guys have done that, but we'll see how today goes and go from there. But I've been very pleased with the way they've are competing. And just trying to be consistent with our entire team right now. That's my main message.
Goodness gracious. Reliever? A reliever for a quarterback? He is literally using baseball terminology for a quarterback
You're
position.
eating that up. Will from Greenwood texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, free KJ Jefferson. Do you still think it will be an upgrade if Ty Story comes in with Western Kentucky and beats Arkansas? What about Jefferson? Play in the last 4 games. That's the model that I've been saying. Next year will be something. The same thing, no Hicks next year, give him some experience. You don't play him against Auburn and Alabama. If you want to play him in a couple spots in that game, that's okay, but you don't start this guy against Auburn or Alabama. And I know fans are ticked off about Starkel and Hicks' gameplay to this point, and you should be, because these were supposed to be 2 guys that were not necessarily coming in to save your program, but put it on a better start than it has this year. But this true freshman is not ready to play the best defensive line in college football and the best defensive-minded coach in college football back-to-back weeks. Starting. Spot? Starting? No. Just stop with that concept. Stop with that idea. It's not gonna happen.
Chad in Paris texted in, and I think he's feeling exactly what you're saying, Ty. He says, why would you throw KJ against a front 7 that is top 5 in the country and risk destroying his psyche and possibly getting him hurt? And he's dead solid on about that. This is obviously a redshirt year for KJ Jefferson. This is not the season that he's going to be out there playing in 5 games. And if he does get into 4 games, it's going to be in mop-up duty. I think it's going to be in situations where you want him to get that confidence going in a positive manner. Don't put it on the freshman right now to lead a team that hasn't shown out, not just from the quarterback position, but at most other positions as well, that they're just not ready to win games. There are deeper problems with the football team right now than just quarterback. What we're seeing here is that we thought quarterback would be more of a steady position this season. There were still all these other questions of the ability. Here's another thing that you got to get more of. What about getting some of these kids in the secondary a little time off, a little breather, instead of playing every single snap? Mm-hmm. Why do you think there are so many missed tackles in the second half? These guys are exhausted by the end of the game, and they need a breather. And, I mean, this is potentially, and who knows, I'm throwing it out there. Why did Devin Bush leave? He wasn't getting on the field. And you can, sure, maybe you expose a kid in the secondary, but you also get him out there for a handful of plays so that the rest of your secondary isn't completely breathless by the end of the game. And I think Auburn's going to take advantage of that. With Arkansas's inability to tackle properly game in, game out, and with Auburn's ability to block and get through those tackles, that's to me the number one reason why I'm looking at this as it's going to be a pretty ugly game. Hogs can't tackle, Auburn can run. And I know they don't have Boobie Whitlow to tote the rock, but they've got a stable of running backs and a quarterback that can run and an offensive line that can block. And that's, to me, why it's not going to be pretty. There's so many other problems with this team that go deeper than quarterback. But we just thought quarterback would be steady at the very least. And it's not steady. It has become a huge issue amongst a host of other huge issues.
Yeah, it's a bummer because that was like, it wasn't the position group, Phil, you were the most competent in heading into the season. I think running backs to this point, especially the way Raheem Boyd's played, my goodness, with that offensive line leading the league in rushing, that's a pretty impressive feat. So I think you're pretty solid at running backs. You liked the young guys at wide receivers and the defensive line, but quarterbacks, you're like, it's pretty solid. You got a kid that played in the SEC, a kid that ran Chad's offense for 3 years. We're going to be okay there. But it hasn't been a position of strength, and that's got to be irritating, not only for fans, but the coaches as well, Phil.
I think so, too. Wesley in Cedarville texted saying that if they fire Morris, they'll never get back to being relevant. Asks, what coach would take a job knowing he'll have 2 years to build a program, not to mention lose most of the freshmen that the team currently has? So, yeah, I mean, in that case, you're up against a rock and a hard place. You know,
a meteor, like a giant meteor heading for Earth with no way to stop it. Like, it's desolate right now. Like, until they win, what it comes down to is until they win a football game, you're just going to people are going to keep jumping off the train. It's sometimes simple as that. Win an SEC game. Get some fans back. Until then, people are just going to keep jumping off by the wayside. Day after day, week after week. That's what it's like right now, Phil.
And speaking of the wayside, go out and see our friend John Neighbors. He's at Randall Ford right now. I think he's there for another hour until we're done with the show. He's giving away tickets to tomorrow's Auburn-Arkansas football game. So if you're looking for tickets or if you've been thinking about it and want to go up to the game, go see John Neighbors at Randall Ford, and he's got tickets to give away. We also have another hour coming up here on Halftime. You can get with us at 877-377-6963. Stay tuned. Hour number 2 coming right after the break.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Randall Ford here in Fort Smith at 5500 Rogers Avenue, the fourth oldest Ford dealership in America. What's setting up to be a beautiful weekend here in the River Valley. And you know what's the most beautiful thing you can do right now? Come over to Randall Ford and check out their brand new Ford vehicles. They have them all across the lot. And their best deal that they have going on right now is on Ford trucks, both the Ranger and the F-150. For all you truck people out there, if you want an F-150, good. If you want a Ranger, good, because you get the same deal with both. 0% financing for 72 months. You're only going to get that deal here at Randall Ford. And the other great deal that they have going on right now, if you want to go to the Arkansas-Auburn game tomorrow, come on out to Randall Ford, tell them I sent you, and you will get to be able to test drive a Ford vehicle, and you'll get a pair of tickets to Arkansas-Auburn tomorrow morning. So don't miss out on this opportunity at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Great camping weather is just around the corner, so at Breeden RV in Van Buren, we're having our year-end clearance sale right now. Get great deals on new RVs like travel trailers that start at $99.95 and fifth wheels starting under $30,000. Breeden RV is the only dealer that gives our new customers maintenance for life for free. We also have a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. Now is the time to camp, and now is the time to let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you just how easy it can be. Breeden RV, your home for maintenance for life.
Oh, that's an RV.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart. Mart.
Look your best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through cover drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Clear and chilly tonight. An overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 40s. Friday, lots of sunshine. Our high will be in the low 70s. A hit or miss shower or thunderstorm possible Friday night. Overnight lows will be close to the low 50s. And a decent chance of showers and a few thunderstorms for Saturday. Our high in the upper 60s to low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bush and Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya! D-Mac! Hold on, Matt Ryan! D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown! How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Appreciate you tuning in as we wrap up our week here on Halftime into the second hour on a Friday. Cherokee Casino hotlines open for you at 877-377-6963. Phil Elson here and Ty Richardson in the studios. Talking a little smack with our friend Zach Arns. I guess it's Zach, who's running the Ruskin and Zach Twitter account. They apparently want to battle you and John Neighbors in Madden. But I'm saying, hey, for a guy like Zach Arns, who was so proud of his ability to kick a field goal with nobody rushing at him and no real pressure on him at all, I'm saying let's have a mano-y-mano. Ty and me have been talking a little smack that we'll do the baseball pitcher versus batter thing at some point, and I don't know if you really can even swing a bat very much, Ty. I've never seen it happen.
It's probably very poor.
Is it an ugly? Your shot is prettier than your swing, right? Basketball shot much prettier than your baseball swing.
I will say I have a good-looking basketball stroke because that's a sport I played growing up. But my baseball swing, last time I did it, my buddies just burst out laughing. You got to remember, didn't play baseball growing up. I haven't played intramural softball, intramural baseball, any of that crap. So I have no consistency. I have no times that I've really played. I think the last time I played baseball was with my dad and my brother when we used to go out down there in Little Rock when I was younger, and that's about it. It's a good 10, 15 years ago, Phil. So yeah, my swing, it would be about as ugly as my golf swing, and you don't want to see my golf swing either.
All right, well, I don't think that Zach really looked very pretty when he kicked that field goal, but I'm challenging him to step up to the plate against me, and he initially thought that meant an eating contest, and I'm not challenging Arns or Ruskin to an eating contest. No, sir.
Well, I guess you just called in.
Oh, is that who's on the phone? That's Zach. Is that Zach Arns?
God's ears. I am here.
So, Zach, where are we going to do this? This is actually going to be a thing, I hope. I want to pitch to you.
Now, what are you topping out in the upper 30s, upper 40s?
If I'm throwing with my left arm, maybe. With my right arm, I probably these days, and it's been a while, but I bet you I could get it up close to 75.
Oh my gosh, that's it? That's batting practice stuff.
That's batting practice for some people.
The first thing we need to establish is, does our health insurance cover random acts of stupidity? If
of course
yes,
it does.
Then we're good to go. Okay, well then I think we can go out and do this. You're the one with the access, time and place, and I'll show up.
Now they don't just give me access.
Field goal this year.
They don't give me access to the equipment. I get access to the radio booth and the coaches, and that's about it. But I might be able to.
I bring my own stuff.
Okay, that's fine, and we can use metal bats. We can. I'm going to have to get your bat cleared, though. Just like all the batters for the college teams, it's got to be a real regulation bat. And
somewhere
and
in my closet, I've got a 1989 Easton Black Magic. And I think we're gonna roll with that.
Ooh, that sounds like one of the things that could send a rocket to the moon. One of those lightning bats. That's what you're going to need.
With a capable hitter, though, Phil, you're forgetting who's behind the plate that you're pitching to.
Well, you're going to have to be the catcher, Ty. We'll also need an umpire. So Ruskin can be the umpire. This is great. We've got this all set up, and we're going to have to do this either now in the month of October while baseball is being played, or once you get into better baseball weather around the turn of March into April, because doing batting practice, outdoors in 10 degrees isn't my thing.
Oh, so you're putting parameters on this. I mean, I'll meet you in mid-January when it's 5 degrees outside. It doesn't make a difference. I'm going to put the thing out of the park, and that's that.
All right, I'm going to put a poll question out there, boys. Will Phil Elson be able to strike Zach Arns out? And we're going to see, by the end of the show, we're going to see what our audience thinks of our chances either way. I'm not going to be in the poll because I don't even know if I'm going to be able to catch your fastball, Phil. It'll probably hit me in the face, and then we'll have to go home or go to the hospital or something.
Zach, I'm just going to let you know how I'm going to pitch to you, okay? I'm going to toy with you with some change-ups low and away, a couple of Uncle Charlies that I throw in the dirt, and I'm going to put you away with some high cheese. You all right with that?
Man, bring it, sister. I'll be there.
Very good. Very good. I appreciate you. Calling when the ears are burning. That's good stuff. Thanks, Zach.
I was punching buttons here on the board, and I'm like, oh, they're still in touch. Oh, wait a minute, they're talking about me. And here we go.
That's
all right,
exactly
you pick the
right.
time and the place, and I'll show up.
All right. Well, we'll come up with it, and we'll. This is a contract now. It's like a pinky swear without the pinkies touching. So good. This is a thing now.
What's touching?
Pinky
all
swear.
Right, you guys be good.
Okay.
Hey, get a lot of liniment and Bengay. You're going to need it.
Yes, I will. That's without question. Zach Arns, you can tune into him later on, 3 o'clock, Ruskin and Zach. All right, back to football here. And again,
that was better.
I'm sorry, but I guess we got to get back to football. Zach, we got a texture here that says, this is Will from Greenwood, says that Zach will take me yard. And for some reason, Will thinks that because he's an ex-pitcher, that Zach can take me yard, and that he's willing to make a side bet on that. All right. I don't even know if Zach ever played baseball, but he seems like he had a couple of athletic bones in his body. All right, Aaron in Clarksville lets us know, do you realize Chad Morris has made $9,589.04 every day he's woken up as an Arkansas coach? Means he makes more money in 3 days than the average Arkansan. Just a little more fuel for the fire. And I guess you wouldn't mind that money if those came with more wins.
Yeah, that's fair. But he's also at the lower part of the totem pole when it comes to average salaries in the SEC. That's just and
that's for good reason.
Yeah.
You win games, you get a raise. You lose games, and either your salary stays the same or you end up looking for a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
Adam from Wynn says that he's not saying that KJ Jefferson should start, but they're going to need to play him in 4 games to get him game experience, and sometimes guys play better during games than practice. Well, and I agree. I mean, you want to get him into the 4 games, and you want to get him some experience. Although here's the other thing, too. He's not going to get that experience in close games. Because if this coaching staff needs wins to point to, even the Western Kentucky game, I think there's going to be some more close games out there. I think you'll keep it close with Mississippi State. I think potentially could keep it close with Missouri. The Western Kentucky game is the last game on the schedule that you look at and say, yes, that's a winnable game. But I don't think that you get KJ Jefferson his 4 games just to get him into the 4 games.
Yeah.
I think they get him into certain situations. Maybe everybody's talking about a couple of plays here and there for him. You got to have some plays for him in the playbook. We haven't seen that yet. I don't know if that's up Chad Morris's and Joe Craddock's sleeves. But I think they get him in as a mop-up quarterback at some point. He might play tomorrow in a mop-up role. Hey, if we're using bullpen terminology for quarterbacks, If Ben Hicks or Nick Starkel are your relievers, well, then you got to have a mop-up guy, and I think KJ will be the mop-up guy.
I don't know if Zach's still listening anymore or not. Do you remember in the offseason where he kept repeating the path to 7 wins, and he would go about it? Ruskin would adamantly disagree with him for a number of different reasons, but he kept saying that. So I guess my soapbox thing is, and I don't know if you disagree with me or not, but what I've said before, Mississippi State, Western Kentucky, bye week, LSU, Missouri. I just think that's the best for it. And I'm not saying you start him in those games, but I think if you're going to play him in spots, that is the stretch that you're not that much concerned. He should not see the field against Auburn or Alabama. No true freshman quarterback is ready for that situation. I know Bo Nix has to play Alabama at the end of this year in Jordan Hare Stadium. If he wins that game, all power to him. But you don't see true freshmen being Nick Saban in Alabama. You don't see them succeeding against Nick Saban in Alabama. People, Johnny Manziel was a redshirt freshman. You don't see true freshmen, for the most part, succeeding at the quarterback position. And I just think you're not setting him up for success if you start him in one of those games, Phil.
Justin in Boonville says he thinks it's the opposite, that you want to get KJ into a tight game, that you want to bring him in different packages to get some points on the board. That would have happened by now. You've had your close games. I think that if they had package for KJ Jefferson, it would have been out there by now. I don't see it happening. Hey, go over to Breeden RV in Van Buren. Got the year-end clearance sale right now, and with perfect camping weather upon us, now's the time to go. Travel trailers starting at $99.95, fifth wheel starting under $30,000. Breeden RV, of course, the only dealer that gives new customers maintenance for life for free. Breeden RV with a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs. Now's the time to camp. Let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you how easy it can be. You can go to BreedenRVs.com for more information. Stay with us, 877-377-6963, and we will be right back.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
I don't get that.
That tells me
you don't have the KI, man. You don't have the killer instinct.
Exactly. You are worried more about what the other team's going to do instead of what you should do.
Exactly.
And you can't do that. You can't be a football coach of a successful football team doing that.
That tells me you have no confidence at all.
That's not a winning formula.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Randall Ford here in Fort Smith at 5500 Rogers Avenue, the fourth oldest Ford dealership in America, where it's another beautiful Friday here, and they have some great deals going on at Randall Ford. Come on by and get you a brand new F-150, 0% financing for 72 months. I'm a big F-150 guy myself, and they are beautiful trucks. But if that's a little too big for you, you don't want to go something that large, they also have the same deal going on with their Ford Rangers. 2019 Ford Rangers, 0% for 72 months. It's a great deal. And here's the best thing about it, folks. Randall Ford has a pair of tickets to the Arkansas-Auburn game that they are giving away. All you got to do is come by Randall Ford, go out on a test drive, and you get yourself a free pair of tickets to Arkansas and Auburn tomorrow morning. So come on by Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, and see us on ESPN 95.3.
Get a $200 Visa gift card when you make the move to Dish right now with World of Wireless.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Serving the River Valley as a Dish premium retailer for 24 years. Call this weekend and sign up and get the $200 Visa gift card and lock in your rate for the next 2 years. It will not change.
Plus, you got a limited quantity on these Tailgater units, Ben. These are perfect for deer season. They're only $99 when you sign up for Dish.
That's right. We got the second edition of Tailgater Extravaganza, especially for the outdoorsman getting ready for deer camp. You can't get it anywhere else for less than $100. You just got to sign up for new service with Dish, get a 2-year agreement, cancel your cable service at home, get Dish, save about $500 to $1,000 this year, get TV for your deer camp, watch your football games next weekend in your deer camp, and enjoy this fall weather with a new Dish tailgater and Dish service from World of Wireless.
877-305-DISH for all the details. That's 877-305-3474.
Every day, vegetables are ripped from the earth, sliced, diced, even something called julienne. But for just $5 a day, you can help. Get 2 Hardee's Original Roast Beef Sandwiches for just $5. Slow-cooked beef, hand-dipped in rich au jus, each prepared without harming a single vegetable. So come to Hardee's, get 2 Original Roast Beef Sandwiches, and save the veggies. Hardee's, because it tastes better. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Right now at Randall Ford, get 0% for 72 months on a new 2019 Ford F-150 LXT, plus $1,000 special retail bonus cash. But that's not all. How about up to $13,000 off MSRP? Or how about only $299 a month? That's it. Just $299 a month for a brand new 2019 Ford EcoSport, only from Randall Ford, America's 4th oldest Ford dealer. Stop in today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee. ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
That's Hammonds. Has the edge, has the 50. Hammonds down the sideline. Inside the 20. He'll take it. Touchdown, Razorbacks. Hammonds breaks it. A 64-yard TD.
George Springer and Carlos Correa with home runs, each a 3-run shot. Springer gave the Astros the lead. Correa topped the game off. Yanks had an opportunity but left bases loaded in the 5th inning after getting rid of Zach Greinke. Ryan Presley got them out of the jam, and the Astros win 8-3 over the Yanks last night. So that puts the Astros on the precipice of a second World Series trip in 3 years. Get a chance to close out the ALCS tonight, 6 o'clock. It'll be on FS1, and they are throwing Justin Verlander, who's been pretty good in this postseason. Not as good as Garrett Cole, but pretty good. James Paxton will try to salvage the last game for the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. And right now, if you are an Astros fan, you have got to be feeling good. No matter what happens tonight, if you lose, you go back home where you've been nearly unbeatable, and the Yankees would have to win 3 straight. This is a good Yankees team, but it's not, to me, a Yankees team that can pull off 3 consecutive wins against the Astros, knowing that you got to beat Verlander and Cole in order to get it done, and then find a way to win another game outside of that. This just seems like it's almost in the realm of impossible for New York.
And I already put on the rundown what you're going to think about this Nationals-Stros pitching duel.
Yeah.
That we think is pretty inevitable, but obviously it hasn't happened yet, 3-1. Yankees, just based off what you saw last night, is there any sliver of hope for the Yankees fans that might be listening that they could, I mean, you mentioned the prowess of Verlander and Cole as pitching guys, as 2 of the more dominant pitchers in the MLB. I mean, is there anything that they can look to this series, prior series, that gives them a chance, or is this series just ultimately over with the fact that the record is at
me,
this point?
It feels like it's over, and I think that the Yanks had their opportunity yesterday against Greinke, who's not been good in the playoffs, not just this season, but in his career. And I mean, he was all right. He didn't have great command last night, and when you get him out of the game in the 5th inning and had that chance, with trailing 3-1, leaving bases loaded at that moment, that was a killer, an absolute killer, because Correa goes deep in the 6th. At that point, it's 6-1, and that's pretty much it. And I'd have to go back and look, but I would imagine that it's been rare, if it hasn't happened at all, that the Astros have lost back-to-back games pitched by Verlander and Cole. That's the thing. Is for a team that is built on starting pitching, and their worst starting pitcher right now is Zach Greinke. The Yanks had their chance yesterday, and so yes, I think this series is done. But crazier things have happened in this crazy game of baseball, and maybe the Stros don't show up. Maybe Paxton, Paxton's a good pitcher, maybe goes out and throws a gem for 8 innings, and the Yanks scratch out a run against Verlander, and that's it. I don't see it happening, though. This Astros team is just too good.
1 year ago today, do you remember the Andrew Benintendi catch on Alex Bregman? That happened in the ALCS. That was 1 year ago today when he caught it in shallow, was that left? I think shallow left field.
Yes, I do. The diving catch in left field to send them to the World Series.
Yeah, that was 1 year ago today. That popped up on my timeline, and kind of bummed that you're not seeing him. But I guess, so Hog, Arkansas was. I'm kind of boggling my brain real quick. I don't think there's any on the Yankees. Is there any on the Nats? And with Keuchel off the Astros, I mean, there's no Hogs in this. Former Hogs.
There are no Razorback connections. Yeah. Got the Traveler connections with the Nationals, with Howie Kendrick and Tim Bogar. Bogar's now a candidate to manage the New York Mets. And I've always thought he'd be a really good major league manager. I think he interviewed with the Texas Rangers. They didn't hire him, but I think it'd be great to see Bogar end up as the manager of the Mets. Doesn't mean I'd root for the New York Mets, but I'd be pulling for him. So you're already ahead. You're already saying Nat Stros. I agree with you. This is the starting pitching series that finally this game deserves to see in a year and in an era now where starting pitching is almost feeling with some teams like it's completely devalued. Maybe not completely devalued, but just devalued to the point where they're now trying to piece games together. 3 innings, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning. You have these two teams that are showing that great teams still are built on starting pitching. And to see essentially 3 aces on both of those clubs, maybe that gets baseball back into what it's been like since the sport ever started, which is a starting pitching dominant theory. You got to have a good bullpen, yes, but you need pitchers that can go out and give you 6 to 7 good innings. And the thing about, to me, the Astros probably a little bit more than the Nationals is they've got guys that can go out and just be routinely dominant. Start after start after start. And you've seen that with Cole this year. You've seen that with Verlander this year. Greinke at times has been the same. With the Nationals, Scherzer hasn't had his best year. He's still gone out and been good, but he hasn't been as good as the year before. And it's not to say he can't go out and match, a Garrett Cole pitch for pitch in a World Series game. I'm just saying he hasn't been exactly the same pitcher. Strasburg, who's going to be a free agent, is the same thing. And Patrick Corbin, who was their big free agent pickup, is kind of playing, I think, the role of Greinke, but he's at times been better than Scherzer and Strasburg. So I love the idea of finally seeing teams that are built upon starting pitching, playing on the big stage, and to me, starting pitching has always been a hallmark of really good teams.
Yeah, I think when it's the equivalent to just like having a really good trench play up on the offensive line, defensive. I know you have to have a quarterback, but it seems like you don't see many really good college football or NFL teams without really good offensive line and defensive line. And I think there's other position groups that you can talk about that are equivalent of, but it seems based on what you're saying that baseball, the model that the Astros organization is using with their team, and then the national organization are using maybe the baseball itself. Not just a little sliver, but the entire baseball model. It seems like you're kind of rooting for that too.
I am, and a thing about the Yankees to think about too. And I'm trying to not walk back the thought that they can't win it, but this team has been counted out almost all year long because of just an incredible rash of injuries throughout the season. I mean, they've barely had Giancarlo Stanton available, and he won't be available now. But Aaron Judge. They've got like 3 Aarons on the team. There's Hicks, there's Judge, and Boone. Yeah. Mr. Savages, the manager, Boone. But, Judge has been hurt a good chunk of the season. They've had to piece their starting pitching rotation together. And they still won 104 games. So, I mean, if the Yanks have not been in this situation where they're 1 loss away from the season being over, but they've shown, and some of it is because of the resources, but some of it is also because of great managing, a free agent pickup in DJ LeMahieu that almost came out of nowhere, and LeMahieu had like an MVP caliber season. Nobody would have seen that coming. So, I mean, the Yanks they've already shown that they can overcome injuries, at least. This is a different thing, overcoming truly great starting pitching. And the great starting pitching is going to overcome good lineups, and I think we've seen that throughout this postseason so far. Okay, so that is a 6 o'clock first pitch, and again, it is on FS1, and then the World Series begins Tuesday next week. So, I mean, the Nationals have what do they win? They won they won on Tuesday, so they get a week between the end of the NLCS and the start of the World Series. And I would never, at this point of the season, say that a week of rest is a bad thing for a baseball team that by this point has played a 162-game regular season, been through a wild card game, then a division series, and a championship series. Yes, a week off is a good thing for a baseball team right now. So the Nationals are fully rested, ready to go. The Astros could be just as rested as they need to be. If they close this series out today, they can start Garrett Cole game 1 against, and I don't think the Nationals have announced who their starters will be yet, but I would assume that they go with Max Scherzer to begin the World Series. So a Scherzer versus Cole starting pitching matchup for game 1. And then after that, I mean, potentially each one of those two could throw 3 games in the World Series. And you know that series is going to go 7 games. You've had a history now of the World Series going a full 7, and I would see, because of the starting pitching being so even, I think it'll be a back and forth series, and I could see it going 7. But again, Astros have to take care of business first, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
No better word in sports than Game 7. No better words in sports than Game 7.
Well, I like Game 5 in a division series, but yeah, the 7-game series going 7 is even just a little bit better. All right, we're going to go to a break in a moment here. A reminder that we are brought to you by Ice Cold, Tasty, Saturday morning beer, Coors Light.
Ice Cold, Coors Light, your beer. Everyone's beer of Saturday morning, as Kurt Herbstreit and so many others have called it. Cold lager, cold filtered, cold package, always cold. The process they go through to make it the world's most refreshing beer, it's pretty staggering. I mean, that thing is always cold regardless of where it is. And it's got the cold activated can, so not only when you feel it, but you can see how cold it is. Just like the Rockies, it's freezing. And Phil, when you see that the mountains are blue, remind me what you do?
Something about 2.
Something about 2. I think you go for 2. So, Coors Light, made to chill.
All right, we're going to come back. We will get some picks going for college football over the weekend. Ty has been crushing me in the picks, and I'm sure that will continue, so stay tuned.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Randall Ford here in Fort Smith at 5500 Rogers Avenue, where they are having amazing deals on this beautiful day here in the River Valley. They have F-150s galore. I also have Ford Rangers galore. They have Mustangs. They got all your vehicles, but their most special that they're having today is, of course, the F-150s and the Ford Rangers, 0% financing for 72 months. You're not going to get a better deal on any Ford vehicle in the area, and they got plenty to choose from. And here's what's the great thing too, folks. If you want to go to the Arkansas-Auburn game tomorrow morning, they are giving away a pair of tickets just for you. All you have to do is come by Randall Ford and say that you want to test drive a new Ford vehicle. And once you test drive the vehicle, they will give you a pair of tickets to tomorrow's game, so you're not going to get a better deal. Again, come on out and see us over here at Randall Ford in Fort Smith, 5500 Rogers Avenue, 4th oldest Ford dealership in America.
You've worked hard your whole life anticipating the day you could finally retire. If that day is near, there are 5 things you need to do. Spend wisely, understand your retirement plan distribution options, plan for your required minimum distributions, know your Social Security options, and consider phasing. Call Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors to discuss these steps in detail at 242-7466 or through our website at ufadvisors.net.
Securities and advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination. We did it again. Evans Body Shop has been voted the best independent collision repair shop in the River Valley for the second year in a row. None of it would have been possible without our top-notch crew and our customers, friends, and family that take their time to vote for us. We would like to say thank you. We are humbled by the continued loyalty and support from our community and staff and will continue to go above and beyond every day. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren. Come by today and see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Arrow Bolt and Screw is Fort Smith's distributor of bolts, screws, fasteners, anchors, and much, much more. They have a wide variety, stainless steel inventory, and metric fasteners. This family-owned and operated business takes great pride in providing their valued clients with high-quality products at low, affordable prices. Arrow Bolt and Screw can be found at 5424 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. That's Arrow Bolt and Screw. Call 646-0540. That's 646-0540. Arrow Bolt and Screw.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Well, the Bulldogs will kick it short, but they get it to McFadden back around the 7. He comes up to the 20, and he's off to the races. We were just talking about it. McFadden and Jones, they are mighty good, and McFadden shows it there. From the 7-yard line to the end zone, 93 yards for Darren McFadden. My goodness, they answer in a hurry.
Put myself out there by challenging Zach Arns to baseball, one-on-one baseball, and it's a difficult thing to play. It's why you need the 8 other fielders behind you, or at least, the 7 behind you and the one who's in front of you. But apparently a lot of our listeners are thinking that I am going to take care of Zach Arns. Here, the other thing about this, too, is, okay, in baseball, striking out is just one of the many ways that you can retire a batter. So, is inducing weak contact good enough? Is getting a jam job pop-up good enough?
Now,
or is just striking him out? Is that, that's obviously the thing that's the more powerful moment. So what about just a little top over ground ball to third base?
Stop backtracking. You need to strike him out. That's the listen. You're backtracking now. I don't like what's coming out of your mouth, Phil. It's kind of like the Ween bet that you've backed out of already. I'm not liking where your mindset is headed.
But I'm not really backing out. I'm just saying I will try to strike out, but getting an out really is the thing that you're looking to do, is to not allow a hard hit line drive or a sharp grounder up the middle, or in what Arns says he can do, hit at 400 feet, which I don't even think Zach can walk 400 feet, much less hit the baseball 400 feet.
I think with Arns, you throw at him the first time. You remember you were telling me, like, if Dave pitched to me, he would throw behind my head and scare the bejeezies out of me. I think you did the exact same thing to Arns. He'll cower away like a little schoolgirl, and then you're good the rest of the way, dude.
You know what I got to do? So there used to be I think I remember this story about a pitcher named Bob Veal, a pitcher from the 1960s who used to wear giant Coke bottle glasses. And he threw like 100 miles an hour. And in the 60s, there are so many pitchers now that throw that. In the 60s, 97 and 99, like Veal threw, was scary. But he also didn't know where it was going. And then
he's Ricky Vaughn, is what
he's Rick Vaughn, but with huge Coke bottle glasses to like provide the desired fear to strike into the hitter's mind that this guy has no idea where this ball is going. Just like Crash tells the batter, it might be at your head. I don't know where it's going. So I need the Coke bottle glasses to really strike fear in Zach Arns' mind. That would be better than, throwing behind him or throwing it behind his head, in which I might actually accidentally hit his head.
So a couple texts in from the Cherokee Casino hotline. Phil, Chris from Greenwood says he kicked the football really well.
Which has nothing to do with baseball.
And I was going to say then, and then Nick from Greenwood says, I have a thought for your hot loss. How about some Coco Loco chocolate?
Yeah, I have no idea. I love hot chocolate, so yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Aaron in Clarksville says that throw a few really wild warm-up pitches and make sure he sees you do it. That's exactly right. He's got it perfectly done. I do get warm-up pitches though, by the way, and I gotta start strengthening my arm. I've always had a strong throwing arm, but it's been a minute since I really played baseball. I had a catch with my father in Pittsburgh like a few weeks ago, and I was nervous it would be sore the day after, and it wasn't. It wasn't terribly sore. There wasn't a lot of pain. I was fine. I think this will actually work out. But I'm also telling you, there are other ways to get outs than just strikeouts. Even in this day and age of baseball, the 3 true outcomes: homer, walk, strikeout. I'm probably the sort of pitcher that's looking to get ground outs. But from Arns, I'm looking for a K.
I'm just really excited to see Arns foul tip it, and it just hit me right in the gerbils, just right there. So I will be wearing a cup if I end up catching.
You better
pitches.
be.
So
take it from a catcher myself. You better have a cup on.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances on that because that's just. I've talked to buddies about that, and they've worn it, obviously, but it still hurts. I mean, you're still getting hit there. It's not like it's an impenetrable force at that point. But, man, I can't imagine not wearing because I got hit there when I was in 7th grade. I decided not to wear my cup and got drilled with the helmet there. I was like, never again. Never again.
You know, and I got hit once there. You know, I was a catcher in high school, and I'm in a practice, sophomore year, cup on, and a foul ball from the batter goes straight down into the ground and right up
under the
into,
cup.
as my son would say, the giblets. You say gerbils, he says giblets.
I was just trying to figure out a way that I could say that without breaking FCC
I think people knew exactly what you were talking about.
Cool.
You know, it's like you got 2 balls and 1 strike on you, and so that was one of the more painful moments of my life.
Sounds like it.
Speaking of painful, by the way, looking at the score of our picks is painful. And more because you're doing really well. I'm doing sort of just mediocre-ish. 21 wins for Ty Richardson and just a dozen for me. So, I mean, you are pretty much crushing me right now. Along the lines of what Auburn might do to Arkansas tomorrow. That's about 21-12 for picks. To me, sounds more like a 37-14 final score. You know what I mean?
I could have a run of bad luck these next couple weeks. I could turn the tables on myself something. I mean, this betting's never a scientific, like, people can gamble, talk about gambling all much they want. It's never, like, obvious. It's never exactly how they think it's going to be. So maybe something will happen these next couple weeks and the score will tighten up a little bit.
So, all right, I'm gonna start with a Pac-12 game. I'm going to go with Arizona State getting 13.5 points at Utah. Now, both of these teams have lost just 1 game. Arizona State lost to Colorado about a month ago, but they usually play some pretty tight ball games. Back-to-back wins over Cal and Washington State, and those wins were by a margin of 7 and 4. So Utah, I mean, this is a good team. I think they probably win, but I like Arizona State to cover 13.5 points, so I'm going to take the Sun Devils.
I think you've picked against Herm Edwards' squad once or twice already this season.
I picked against him when they traveled to East Lansing. And I picked, and in that one, I mean, look at the score of that ball game. It was 10-7. I know I picked Michigan State to cover, to win, and they didn't. Arizona State beat them. And so I think, they've already gone on the road against a halfway decent team in Michigan State. Utah's better, but I think Arizona State at least covers 13.5, so I'm going to take the Sun Devils.
My first pick for the weekend, Kentucky heading down to the plains of Georgia. Georgia's favored by 25 in this one. They are going to come into this game ticked off after what South Carolina did to them last week. They don't have the same defense last year, but you're playing Lynn Bowden. This is not going to be like Lynn Bowden going against Arkansas where he can do whatever he wants on the ground. He's going to have a tough time running against Georgia. I think Mel Tucker's their DC. I'm taking Georgia big in this one. Again, favored by 25 points.
All right, so I was looking at Ohio State and Northwestern, and I'm not the big. I know he's a good coach, but I'm not the biggest fan of Pat Fitzgerald.
RPO is the purest form of communism.
For one of those stupidest things I've ever heard anybody say. So the Buckeyes have won 31 of the last 32 meetings with Northwestern. That's incredible. They play in different divisions, of course, and the last loss for the Buckeyes against Northwestern 2004, 15 years ago. So this year, with potentially the best offense in the country, the Buckeyes are 5-1 against the spread, and they've been some pretty hefty spreads. Northwestern's 2-3 against the spread, and while Northwestern's got a pretty good defense, I don't think that they can really slow down Ohio State that much, and they certainly can't keep up with them. Ohio State averaging almost 300 yards on the ground. They're totaling over 530 yards per game and are scoring nearly 50 points per game. Plus, they've got the second-best defense, total defense this year. Northwestern's going to get crushed in this one. Ohio State favored by 27.5, and I'm going to take that. I'm taking the Buckeyes.
I don't like picking blowouts, but I got another blowout pick. Tennessee going to Alabama. Bama's favored by 34.5. This is not the same cigar rivalry that actually used to mean something in the SEC. Since 2010, Bama's averaged a little over 41 points per game. Tennessee's only averaged 12 in this one. 37 last year, 38 2017, 39 in 2016. This game's not going to be close. I got Bama just trouncing Tennessee tomorrow.
I know we got to be quick with these next two, so I'll just give my last two. I got Florida covering a 5-point spread on the road at South Carolina. Bounce-back game for the Gators. And Carolina, after the win against Georgia, won't have enough. Plus, my money ball game is Mizzou favored by 21 at Vanderbilt. That's the same Commodores team that lost to UNLV at home by 24, so I'm going to take the Tigers.
LSU 17.5-point favorites heading to Starkville. You look at what they've done lately. I love Joe Burrow. I think they win that one. Moneyball pick, the over of Oregon and Washington. Herbert, Neeson, two good quarterbacks. They're not getting held to less than 49. I'm taking the over as my Moneyball pick in that one, Phil.
Jason in St. Louis tells us that, other terminology for giblets or gerbils, hitting the batteries, hitting the jewels, hitting the berries. Yeah, that works too. It's a whole other topic for a show. We need like 2 full hours for it. We'll close up shop with predictions on Arkansas and Auburn. So stay tuned to halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. This is halftime.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
Supercuts of Arkansas is raising breast cancer awareness and donating to Bright Pink. Bright Pink is the only nonprofit organization that focuses on prevention and early detection of breast and ovarian cancer. Join the fight, breast cancer awareness. Donating to Bright Pink, the only nonprofit organization. Supercuts help them reach their goal of $10,000. Supercuts is conveniently located and serving its community 7 days a week. Supercuts, they're super into the movement. Supercuts, fresh, clean, sharp.
full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS 631520.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Arkansas on the ground is Hammond. Oh, Hammond's breaking free. It's going to be a foot race. One man to beat. Touchdown, Arkansas! 88 yards.
Well, knee injuries are a thing now, Ty. Been a thing for a while. Zion Williamson missing the start of the basketball season. Might miss a few weeks. Patrick Mahomes, dislocated kneecap. Might be out for a few weeks.
You see that last night?
I did not. Been reading about it, though. Pretty painful looking injury.
Yeah. And you watch it live and you watch the replay and you're just kind of, ugh. So I feel like that's a guy that everyone likes, is Patrick Mahomes. I've never heard anyone say they don't like Patrick Mahomes because he's got a good story, seems like a good kid. I say kid, he might be the same age as me, if not a year older.
It's okay, you're a kid. It's fine. It's fine.
Same thing. I get called a kid sometimes, and I don't know if I should be slighted by that or just be okay with it or whatever. So, you know when we went to Hardee's for the Thick Burger Challenge remote a couple weeks back, and he's like, "You sound a lot older than you look." And one of the guys, and I didn't know if I should take that as a compliment or a diss, but it's part of it, I guess.
So am I going to strike out Zach Arns whenever we do this thing?
What's the percentage on it?
Poll right now has me at 70% yes, 30% no. And again, so all right, the other 30%. Do you realize that I'll still get him out if I don't strike him out? If I'll have some ghost infielders there.
That's what Tommy and John are for, to play infield.
That's exactly right. So this is outstanding. So we can get Matty T to maybe play first base. You can be the catcher. We'll put Neighbors at third. Tommy will play second and shortstop. And I'll pitch. And Zach will just, be there with a bat and really nothing to do with it.
We're good.
All right. That's great. We got some people that have some advice. Will, is it Will, or are we getting his name wrong? It is Will in Greenwood. Will. He says I should throw a knuckleball because it won't hurt my arm, and it's embarrassing to strike out batters on slow pitches. He doesn't want me to throw fastball. So I don't know how to throw a knuckleball. That's like the pitch, and I'm reading a book by Tyler Kepner, which teaches you, it tells you the history of each, 9 pitches in baseball. The knuckleball is other than maybe the screwball gets thrown the least because it's so difficult to master. I can't throw a knuckleball. It's impossible for me to do it. But I do have a circle change. So, Zach, if you're still listening, I know you got a little more than an hour before your show and you're probably prepping. Circle change up might be the way I finish you off. This is stupid of me to tell him how I'm going to pitch to him, by the way. It's really dumb. That's why Chad Morris isn't announcing who the starting quarterback is going to be tomorrow, because he is going to make it a surprise for Gus Malzahn. Although Gus said that one strength of Arkansas is that they have 2 quarterbacks that they can go to, and if one is not playing well, that they can go to the other, and they'll provide a spark off the bench. So, I mean, here's you need a quarterback that can go out and play 4 quarters and play well. And to me, this is like the story of the team this year, is that you've seen bits and pieces of well-played football here and there, but not once has it been put together for a full 4 quarters. And now you're heading into the most difficult stretch of the season. And last week was part of it. Anytime you go on the road in the SEC, it's going to be difficult. I don't care if it's Kentucky or Vanderbilt or wherever. It's always tough to win on the road. But it's also difficult to beat big, physical teams in your own stadium when you haven't won an SEC game in 17 games. So it's going to be ugly tomorrow, Ty. It's not going to be pretty. Auburn can rush 4 and present some pressure just with their front 4. They can drop 7, and as much as you might want to get the ball to Trey Knox, Traylon Burks, to C.J. O'Grady, and maybe some screenplays for Rakeem Boyd, there's just going to be too many tacklers around them for them to make much headway. So, yes, get the ball to your playmakers, but I just don't know how much room there's going to be for them to do their thing.
Yeah, 45 tackles for loss, 17 sacks. This is a defensive line that's going to come after Starkel or Hicks, whoever it may be. It's going to be limiting Rakeem Boyd, and I say limiting, probably stopping him altogether. You hope that's not the case. And he actually had some success against Auburn last season. I think he went for 99, 98 yards last year, but I just don't see that offense moving the ball against this team. Phil, before we get into our predictions, I was going to go over, I'm looking at Hogs Illustrated. Clay is kind enough to publish some of our predictions in there every single week. He's got Auburn winning 38-17. Matt Jones over at Whole Hog, 41-14. Harry Keene, our buddy, 38-20 Auburn. Scotty Borderline, 42-14 Auburn. Let's see. Dudley, 42-21 Auburn. Bart, 38-13 Auburn. Tommy's got him winning 54-17. Talk about the Tigers. Alyssa Orange over at the Pictorial Nation, 48-10. John's got Auburn winning 52-20. And then Seth Campbell has them winning 45-14. So that being said, not a lot of people in the Arkansas media, if any, that are picking the Razorbacks to win this weekend.
Not even a matter of picking to win. I mean, everybody's picking them to get crushed, to get blown out, you know, and whatever happens this week, it can get worse next week. On the road, in Tuscaloosa, against Tua and the Alabama Crimson Tide, and no longer facing a quote-unquote good friend as the head coach who's across the way. So if one of our texters earlier thought that there should be a safe word for Chad Morris and Gus Malzahn, there won't be a safe word next week, and I don't think there will be this weekend either. My pick for final score, I'm looking at 38-14 Auburn. So, I mean, that's
not that bad.
That's not that bad, but it's still covering the spread.
I said 52-17. I think Arkansas might got off to a little bit of a competitive start, but when you look at the trench play differences between these two football teams, Auburn's got some veteran offensive linemen. I know Whitlow's not there, but they have Cam Martin. They have Bo Mix, who's a mobile quarterback. Hey, Phil, what's the death of Arkansas defenses these last few years, last umpteen years? Isn't it
last week?
Yeah, last week. I mean, point to any game. It's typically a guy that can run the football. And that's not just for Arkansas. That's for college football defenses in general. Heck, it's the Achilles heel to Alabama. You look Manziel, Watson, others, they've been able to actually get it done against the Crimson Tide. I just don't think Arkansas is going to be able to keep pace with Auburn. And this, again, could be where the wheels come off for this team. They didn't come off against Texas A&M. They didn't come off against Kentucky. Would a beat down by Auburn in any hope for a win the rest of the season? We'll find out tomorrow afternoon.
Well, look, I don't think Texas A&M not really as good as some people might have thought.
They're about to go 7-5.
Yeah,
3-3 right now. They are about to go 7-5 this season. That's
exactly
the high
right.
side. So.
You know, and for Auburn, maybe you're just hoping that they're looking ahead to next week with the CBS broadcast of the LSU game in Baton Rouge. But with them coming off a bye week, having a full 2 weeks to prepare for Arkansas, they are not looking ahead to LSU. You could look at it as a trap game, but it's not going to be a trap game for Auburn. And I think even if Arkansas goes out and plays well, Auburn's just too physical, too good, too experienced at too many positions, and they're better coached. They're a better coached team than Arkansas is right now.
And I think the one maybe bright spot that you could look to, yes, it's a true freshman quarterback coming in. Can you somewhat, somehow, some way get him rattled a little bit? There's not going to be 80-some-odd thousand at the football game, but if the crowd gets into it, if the defense starts a little hot, they prevent him from really making some passes. Because this is a guy that hasn't played well in big-time games. Yes, the touchdown he threw at the end of the Oregon game overshadowed what he did throughout the rest of the game, but this is not a guy that's played spectacularly so far as a true freshman. Stack the line of scrimmage, make him pass. If he beats you passing, so be it. But you don't want to give up 200 or 300 rushing yards to Auburn and just let them do whatever they want all day. Make the true freshman beat you. That has to be the mentality of John Chavis' defense this week. It has to be. You can't let the offensive line take control, which, again, you're going up against the young guys in the Arkansas defensive line. Just stack the line of scrimmage. If they beat you over the top, if they beat you on passing, if you're Arkansas, I know you're not happy about that, but you're much happier about that than if they put up 250-plus rushing yards on you tomorrow.
Well, Auburn averaging 230 yards per game on the ground, 5.1 yards per carry. That's one of the. They are third in the SEC, 20th in the nation in both rushing defense and rushing offense. So, and that's against some teams with halfway decent defenses. Texas A&M. I don't know if I'd say Mississippi State is a halfway decent defense, and obviously they had trouble against the Florida Gators. The Florida Gators defense is awfully stout and are not the Arkansas defense. So what's the final score that you picked, Ty? I went with 38-14. Did you make a prediction yet?
52-17.
52-17. Kind of ugly. By the way, still got a few minutes left to, if you're on your way, John Neighbors is going to be wrapping up at Randall Ford, giving away tickets to tomorrow's game. So it's an 11 o'clock kick. Might be rain in the forecast tomorrow around kickoff time. Arkansas game day beginning at 6 a.m., 8 o'clock, the IMG Learfield pregame show. Me and Tommy are on Hog Reaction for the postgame, and then 3 o'clock tip-off with Arkansas UALR basketball exhibition. Nolan Richardson or Courts being named on Sunday.
Tommy's got double duty tomorrow. He's letting John go early up to Fayetteville, so me and him doing the pregame, you and him doing the postgame. That's just a powerful boss that's able to do both. That's what you know how when you look at those memes that say get a guy that can do both. That's Tommy Kraft as the boss.
That's why I'm saying Tommy Kraft will play both shortstop and second base for me when I pitch against Zach Arns. It's been good to be back with these last 2 days, Ty. Good to be back with our callers, our texters, our listeners. Have yourself a great weekend. For Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
ESPN 95.3 is live on